Now, our next guest began his professional life as a clerk in the Treasury before a period of unemployment which ended when he went to work as a fitter in Croydon. Not the sort of background I would expect for someone who is now widely acclaimed as one of Britain's leading contemporary poets. A man whose poetry springs, and I quote, from his life's experiences. Bear that in mind when you listen to The Day of Insurrection by Linton Kwesi Johnson.
The Great Insurrection. It was in April 1981, down in the ghetto of Brixton, that the Babylon them caused such a friction, and it bring about a great insurrection, and it spread all over the nation. It was a truly historical occasion. It was event of the year, and I wish I had been there when we run riot all over Brixton, when we mash up plenty police van, when we mash up the wicked one plan, when we mash up the swamp 81, fi what? Fi make the ruler them understand that we not take no more of them oppression. And when me check out the ghetto grapevine, fi find out all I coulda find, every rebel just a revel in them story. Them a talk about the power and the glory. Them a talk about the burning and the looting. Them a talk about the smashing and the grabbing. Them a tell me about the vanquish and the victory. Them said the Babylon them went too far. So what? We had was fi burn 2 car. And 1 and 2 innocent get mar. But what? No so it go sometime in a war in star. No so it go sometime in a war. Them say we burn down the judge, we coulda burn the landlord. We burn down the judge, we never burn the landlord. When we run riot all over Brixton, when we mash up plenty police van, when we mash up the wicked one plan, when we mash up the swamp 81. Them say we commandeer car and we gather ammunition. We build we barricade and the wicked catch afraid. We send out, we scout, we go find them whereabout. Then we farm up, we posse and we make we raid. Now them run gang go plan counter action. But the plastic bullet and the water cannon will bring a blam blam. Will bring a blam blam. Never mind scar man. Will bring a blam blam.
Linton Kwesi Johnson and another contemporary poet straight off stage at the Ritz, John Cooper Clarke. Now, can I ask you first, because having just heard that, it sticks very much in my mind. Do you regard yourself or your poetry, do you regard yourself as a commentator or as a catalyst?
I regard myself as someone who is trying to express as simply and as effectively as possible the experiences of blacks in Britain.
But why? What for?
Because I have a need and a desire to do so. I think it's important that we record our experiences, whether as poems, as songs, as history. And I believe because it also lends itself to entertainment. It can be entertaining.
How can it be entertainment?
All art is entertainment.
I didn't find that entertainment in the sense that I would find it, that I would consider entertainment, like Dallas or Coronation Street, as Arthur was just talking about. That was more like something that would stimulate me to think.
Well, one hopes that in entertaining, one is also stimulating thought, yes.
But is there not a danger there that you're going to provoke action as well?
Well, I don't see my poetry in that way. No.
Do you never use it as a vehicle for trying to get something done or something changed?
One hopes that by talking about something or by creating a poem about something and making that available to other people, that people will be concerned enough. For example, like when I did the poem about George Lindo, that man from Bradford who was framed by the police there of robbing a betting shop. And that poem did, I think, help in the campaign to free George Lindo, and one hopes that one's art can have that kind of effect as well as entertaining people.
I wonder if I could ask John for his opinion on that. Do you regard Linton's poetry as a catalyst in any way?
I agree with it. I think it's before it's anything else. It's entertaining.
You're on his side.
Yeah, but I mean, before you do anything, you know, you just kind of move to it, you know.
So would you use the same way? Are you in fact trying to make people think, but you entertain them first, and the thought comes second?
Yeah, yeah.
Can I ask you both, which comes first, the words or the music? Because both of you have used words and music together to illustrate a point.
I am writing out of an oral tradition, a Caribbean oral tradition, where word and music are an integral part of each other. Mm-hmm. And my words always come to me with a beat and a rhythm.
Yes.
And that is why I could never separate the music from the words.
You do speak it very much in a rhythmical way. Do you? Which comes first for you, John?
The rhythm and the speed for me.
Yes.
I kind of like to cram a lot of words into a very short space of time.
But you both, in a way, have used poetry and music combined as a way of reaching people who I think wouldn't normally read poetry. Is that so?
Absolutely. What one is trying to do is to build a bridge, if you like, between poetry and music audiences. Many people, the vast majority of people wouldn't be too bothered about picking up a book of poems, but they would listen to a record. And one is trying to expand the boundaries of poetry, to take it out of its kind of elitist setting, and to show people that poetry can be entertaining, thought-provoking and stimulating.
But is there not a danger that you're going to be hoist by your own petard, that because you have always produced your poems with music, later on you won't be able to do them separately?
Oh no, I don't have that problem. I mean, I'd make records. The only way music ever comes in with me is that I make records with music, which necessitates that I go out about twice a year to promote those albums with a band. But there's no way I would ever do that to the exclusion of solo performances. You know, that's where
There is that danger, yes, because in fact, part of the reasoning behind the fact John Cooper Clarke and myself have been doing a tour.
Yes, you're both just straight on stage.
We've been reciting poetry to audiences of between 8 to 1,400 people.
Yes.
And part of the reasoning behind that is because we found that over the last couple of years, people tend to accept what we do as music.
Yes.
And not as poetry.
You mean they wouldn't come to poetry readings?
They would come to poetry readings, but you know,
only if we're at them.
Right. But then we found that people still saw it, what we did as music.
Yes.
So we thought we would embark on a poetry crusade because we believe that our words stand on their own right. So we thought we would present it to the punters as poetry.
One thing I find very interesting about your work, because reggae has such a strong tradition in the black community, and yet you are very much an accepted part of what I would call radical chic. Mm-hmm. Do you find that surprising?
Art in capitalist societies are available in the commodity form, which means it can be bought in the marketplace by anybody. And obviously there will be sections of the community who would think it would be fashionable to listen to my records. What can I do?
No, I
don't mind.
But do you not feel that you're in danger of losing touch with the people you're actually writing for?
I don't think so. I'm not writing exclusively for blacks. I'm writing primarily about the experiences of blacks, and I hope that those who live outside of our experience would be able to learn something about the nature of our experiences from my poetry.
Who are you writing for, John? John, I do wish you do you always wear your glasses? I find
well,
it difficult to talk to somebody whose eyes I can't
lenses,
see.
You know.
Oh, see, can you see? No, it's just when I can't see your eyes, I can't tell what your reaction
I can't see you.
You are awake under there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
who do you write for?
Look for the little Zs.
Listen, I'll tell you what, we've heard some of Linton's poetry. Please, let's hear one of yours. Okay. We have a nice little rostrum all prepared for you over there. Ladies and gentlemen, John Cooper Clarke.
This one's loosely based on the 19th nervous breakdown of George Best, as I read it in one of the Sunday papers when his completely remote-controlled council house in Timperley went bananas on him one Saturday afternoon. This is called The Day My Pad Went Mad. I was ankle deep in human waste, the toilet had been clogged, marrowbone jelly all over the place, I don't even have a dog. The man upstairs grips my arm saying, don't I know your dad? All I could hear was the fire alarms. The day my pad went mad. The kitchen had been ransacked, ski trails in the hall, a chicken had been dansacked and thrown against the wall. In walks this dumb waiter with a fountain pen and pad saying, how do you like this alligator? The day my pad went mad. The hamster had been slaughtered, the parrot bound and gagged, the guard dog had been sorted out and absolutely shagged. The goldfish drowned, found, kicked around and stabbed. The radio did not make a sound. The day my pad went mad. Yesterday I had the place rewired and I slung out all of my junk. A tumble dryer, 1-2 bar fire and a telephone now defunct. I peeped through the Venetian blinds and the rain fell down so bad on the broken home I left behind. The day my pad went mad. Thank you.
Thank you indeed, Linton Kwesi Johnson and John Cooper Clarke. That's all we've got time for tonight, but we will be back on Thursday. Meanwhile,
we'd like to leave you with some music from a band that haven't had to come far tonight, just down the road from Moss Side. And they're called Harlem Spirit. Their new song is a tribute to Bob Marley, who died in May last year, and it's called Universal Man.
Rastafarian, I never got to see Bob Marley. Bob Marley. Come face to face with Jamaica. Let the rhythm flow through your veins. Imagine the land of the whalers. Though you're right here, standing in the rain, the Zion train keeps on rolling, and they're still coming in from the cold. Can you feel it? Feel the rhythm when you're walking. Reggae music that gets into your soul. It's another day, it's another story told. Universal man, Rastafarian, I never got to see Bob Marley. Wish I could have known. Universal man, I never got to see Bob Marley. Bob Marley. Eye to eye with his neighbor. True reggae, he made many friends. Inspired people of many races. And it's a sad day when such a